I hate videos. Now, you may be wondering, if I hate videos, what the heck am I doing here? Woohoo! Happy Wednesday, everyone, and welcome to those that are tuning in live on YouTube and Twitter, as well as LinkedIn. We are live. This is Wonder Women Wednesday, where we get to highlight ordinary women making an extraordinary difference in the lives of others. Today is part two of my conversation with the wonderful Isabel Draughon. Um, she is going to be joining us all the way from Chicago. And yes, Chicago is only 1 hour behind my time. But believe me when I say it's quite far. I drove there last September and whew, I was tired from sitting in that car. I think it took us almost 12 hours to get there. Um, Hopefully, I can return sometime and meet you in person, Isabel. That is one of my biggest heart's desires is to meet all the women that I get to interview from all over the world. Um, Honestly, people who I invite to be on this show on Wonder Women Wednesday, the reason why I do it is because they have touched me. And I know that they will touch you too, you that are listening here with us. So, if you and I haven't met yet, please excuse me for being rude. My name is Inge van Roy, and I am recognized as a community connection catalyst. What does that mean? I help businesses and individuals connect with their ideal community because community is what I am all about. I speak specifically on the topic of Ubuntu. For those of you that don't know, Ubuntu means I am because we are. And the reason I so wholeheartedly believe in this principle is because I wouldn't be the me that I am today had it not been for the people that I've encountered in my life. And some of them are going to be joining us and listening in to this live show. So please stay tuned, stay locked to this show. We're going to be talking about the power of prayer. And Isabel is ready. I see her. Um, we're going to be having an amazing conversation. Believe me when I say that. So, without further ado, let's welcome Isabel Draughon, who is joining us all the way from Chicago, Illinois, in the United States of America. One moment, here we are.
Hello, hello.
Hello, Isabel.
Can you hear me really well?
Awesome to have. Yes, I can hear you well. How are
Okay.
you?
I'm good, good. I'm excited to be here with you again today and with your guests. So, yeah, it's a new day.
Awesome.
We're here. We have breath within us. So that means we're
Mhm.
all blessed and I'm grateful to be here.
So I'm so grateful to have you here with us. Before we jump into the conversation, Isabel, especially
Mhm.
for those that were not tuned in last week, won't you
Yeah.
please introduce yourself, let everyone know who you are, and what you're all about.
Oh, thank you so much. Well, my name is Isabel Drawn, and I always start to tell people that my name is Isabel Drawn, mother, wife of three. I live here in Chicago, Illinois. I call myself a serial entrepreneur. Own two businesses. My husband and I own a construction business called VizX Design Studios, where we do outdoor living, outdoor kitchen, pergolas. So we bring the inside to the outside. And then my passion, my calling, which is really not a career for me, it's a calling. I'm a coach. And I empower high achieving women who have lost their identity in this chase of life that we do. The name of my business is called Loud Whisper. And the reason why I named it Loud Whisper is because I feel women are always screaming for help on the inside, but it comes out as a whisper. So my goal in life is really to touch as many women as I can and empower them to use their voices, and also to help women move through their trauma into a higher state of consciousness so they can really live an authentic, fulfilled life, right? A life that God created for them to live. And this is what society has told us. And last but not least, which I'm also extremely excited about, I do conscious leadership. This is where I go into organizations and speak to the leaders about what leadership looks like. What is leadership? What is a conscious leader? So that's been going really well. I can see the effect that it's having on leaders and how they're moving in their workspaces, how they're handling and talking to employees. I call them team members. My employees, I don't call them employees. I call them team members. Yeah, they're part of the team. So much is happening. I'm excited about that.
That's amazing, Isabel.
Thank
Um,
you.
I remember when I first met you, and you shared about your calling with
Yeah.
Loud Whisper.
Hmm.
And then when we had our first one-on-one, I remember thinking, whew, that story of
Yeah.
how Loud Whisper came into being is
Mm.
just amazing.
Yeah.
So I would love to invite you to share that with us now,
Mm.
especially because there are people that are tuned in today that were
Yeah.
not here last week and they missed out. We obviously cannot reiterate everything, but if you can share with us, how did Loud Whisper come into being? I would love that, please.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, this is really not a career, it's a calling for me. And as time goes with everything that I do, I'm really starting to understand what God has ordained for me to do when it comes to Loud Whisper. Loud Whisper is my baby, is something that actually has been in my spirit. I've meant it for years. I didn't even realize it. But Loud Whisper started. I grew up around very courageous and resilient women. Being a girl from Tanzania, my dad is Tanzanian, my mom being Zambian. I watched all these women being courageous, strong, and resilient. They did everything that they could, right, to make sure that they're taking care of their families, whether it's being professional women, stay at home moms, even the women that had tomatoes on their head going to the supermarket. In my eyes as a little girl, they were entrepreneurs. They just didn't own a Rockefeller building. So for years, I watched all these powerful, courageous, and resilient women just do everything that they can to take care of their family. So fast forward, I moved to America at the age of 19, and I came here for college. And I found myself in a very peculiar situation. It was not the best situation for me. And as time went by, I had to leave that situation, met my husband, and started living life. Had more children. But what I realized was, as I was going through all these different aspects of my life, gosh, I had the courage, I had the strength, I had the tenacity to keep moving from one challenge to another. From the first obstacle when I had my first son and I had to leave that situation, 20, 21 years old, where I was 8,000 miles away from home. about to become a mother who needed her own mother, but it didn't even dawn on me how I had the strength and the courage to leave that situation that was not good. I kept on moving on with life, creating, got married, we started a business, and life went on. But this is when the whole aha moment happened for me. From the outside looking in, I realized that a lot of people would say she's living a good life, she's an entrepreneur, she's a mother, she's a wife. I mean, look at her. But here is the truth. My heart was heavy. I spent so many nights, gazing in the ceiling, asking myself night after night, sometimes quite too often, is there more to life than what I'm experiencing? You know, as I continued to dig in and excavate that night after night, is when I came to realize, like all of us, we're a product of our environment, right? So the little girl that I was, and I thank the women from my mothers, my stepmother, my aunts,
Mm,
women at the market, all these women, what I
mm,
realized was I picked up, right? Like we all do in the environments, what can I call it?
mm,
Um, the the tenacity, right? I picked up all those habits, the courage, to be able to move on, the strength to be strong. I mean, I'm 21, about to have a kid. I'm thousands of miles away from home, but I kept on pushing. My life just kept
mm,
going and going and going, but my soul was empty. My soul was heavy. There was so much
mhm.
brokenness within me that
Yeah.
I didn't realize I had. But because I saw so
Mm,
many women living broken, it was normal. It was a normal thing. I didn't realize that
yes.
brokenness was not normal until
Mm,
really started working on me and showing me that I did not create you to survive. I created you to thrive. And that's when I
right.
really started being on my that journey of really becoming who God created me to be. And I also noticed that as I was going through my journey of challenges, trials, and tribulations, even when I was by myself earlier, people called me really strong, right? People always say, "You're such a strong woman. You're such a strong woman." And for so long, I wore that cap with pride because you know what?
Mm,
I grew up watching strong women, but I did not realize the magnitude of what that meant. Being called a strong woman or being deemed strong according to society did not serve me. It left me broken because as a single mother, I needed help. I had nowhere to go because when people saw me because they knew my story of what I went through, whether it was abuse, isolation, they equated that to strength. So they always used to be, "You're so strong, Isabel. You're so strong." And for the longest, I wore that cape. I'm like, "Yes, I'm a strong woman." But the truth was, again, when I'm at home at night, I'm broken. I'm crying for help. I need
mm,
to get help, but I couldn't have the courage, even the tenacity to say I need help because everybody was calling me strong, and they were not calling me strong because of that innate strength that God gave me. They were calling me
mm.
strong because of how society defines a woman's strength. Society
Yes.
defines the strength of a woman by how much pain she'll endure. So let me reverse that. Society would define the strength of a man, how much weight they can carry, but they define the strength of a woman by how much pain she can endure. So the
Mm,
more pain I went through, the more abuse that I went through that everybody knew, instead of helping me or creating a safe space where I can ask for help, they
mm,
gave a badge of honor. You are such a strong woman.
mm,
That was all a facade. I was wearing an
mm,
armor of strength that really didn't help me.
mm,
It I was a broken woman. And these are the things that as I was going through my journey, even after I got married, you get married, but the person that you are is the person that you bring in every aspects of your life. I was still
mm,
dealing with those things. And that's when it came to my night after night in the ceiling and getting on the floor and saying, God, help me, help me shift. This does not feel good. I don't like this feeling of my soul being heavy. And if I can be truly honest, I kept on going back to seeing the women that I saw growing up. And I be
Mm.
deep down in my heart, some of the women that I lost in my life, they died because of a heartache, but we never want to admit it. They could
Mm-hmm.
never express themselves. They were always in abusive spaces or environments.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing that mattered is how they were fulfilling everyone else's needs, how
Mm.
they were making sure everyone else's desires and destinies were being fulfilled, but they were not a
Right?
part of that story. They were
No.
evicted out of that story. And it was easy to do that because the culture that I come from and things are changing, which is amazing. Women were getting more power, were being more recognized. Is from the time that you were born, you start becoming a young girl, from you becoming a teenager, nobody is looking at you to say, wow, let's see who Isabel will become. It's wow, who are you going to get married to? Don't talk
Mm.
to be a good wife. No man wants a woman that talks too much. So our
Mm.
livelihoods and our humanity was they equated that and they measured that according to who we're getting married to,
Mm.
becoming a wife. So you're never given an opportunity to really be the person who God created you to be. Never.
Mm.
Because we are conditioned to think that from the time we're born into this earth, we're only here to serve others. Our validation comes through serving and loving others. We're afraid to speak our truth because when we speak our truth, we're afraid that the people that we love are going to leave us and walk away from us because a lot of us have experienced abandonment. So it's all these
Mm-hmm.
things to really unpack that brought me to Loud Whisper. It's that voice where for me,
Mm.
that's where God speaks the loudest. That's the voice that I was able to tap into and trust and honor that gave me the courage to get up and leave in environments that were not serving me, that gave me the courage to get up and keep moving forward in life when I was in disarray or had self doubt. It's that whisper inside of you, right? The gut feeling that some of us call, or my something is tugging at my heart. That's the truth of who you are.
Mm.
That's what we
Mm.
need to
Mm.
tapping into as women. That's what
Mm.
saved me, was listening to that voice inside of me that said, get up. It's time to go or you're going to die. You keep staying here. Get up.
Mm.
It's time for you to start really healing or you'll never have a life. Or that voice that I say God speaks the loudest when he told me, I didn't create you to survive. I created you to thrive. That voice, that's what helped me
Mm.
really have the courage
Mm.
to change in my life. Because one thing we have to realize is when you live in survival mode, you might as well deny your existence because you suppress your emotions,
Mm.
suppress who you feel. And a lot of us women live in survival mode. And what I noticed too was, although I learned this and I saw this with the women back home in Africa when I was growing up, I was fortunate enough. My father was a diplomat, so I lived a very fortunate life in the sense where I traveled the world and lived in so many different spaces. But the more conversations that I was having with women, I started to notice that it was a shared experience of women not using their voice, not speaking up for themselves, not really being who they were created to be, not showing up for themselves. It was a shared
Mm-hmm.
experience of women neglecting their own needs to fulfill everyone else's needs, women
Sure.
sacrificing themselves to do everything for everyone else. Women really thinking they're not enough unless all they do is say yes to everyone around them because they will not be loved. And that's what loud is.
Mm.
It's really about empowering women to use their voice
Yes.
because your
Mhm.
voice is GPS. That's your guide. That's where God speaks the loudest. You just got to
Mm.
honor it and pay attention to it.
Mm. Beautiful. Oh my goodness. Whew.
Thank
I hope you caught all of that, everyone. But
Yeah,
yes, pay attention to your voice.
your
Pay
voice.
attention to your inner voice.
Hmm. Yeah,
Thank you.
you're
Thank you.
welcome.
Let's go to the comments and see what people are saying.
Let's do that. Yeah.
Mm. Mm. We have the wonderful Aliana
Ah, she's back
tuned
with us.
in.
Hi.
Yes, she's tuned in from Arkansas. Are you there today? Can you tell me, Aliana? She says, "Happy Wednesday, Wonder Women around the world." Thank
Mm.
you. Happy Wednesday to you, Aliana. Then we have
Oh, I
Catherine
am.
Lang says, "Whew, I am because we are.
Mm.
That's for sure." Thank you. And we have Nadia tuned in.
Hi.
Let us know where you're tuned in, Nadia. Nice to have you here. And then James Jeffley is
Mm.
higher state of consciousness. You're
Yeah.
singing my song.
Mm. I love to hear that. I love meeting my
Catherine
tribe.
also says, yes, yes, yes. Catherine says, my sons always got scared if I ever started to whisper. Oh Lord.
They know they're in trouble.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Don't forget the full names. When
Right.
I speak to my girls and I'm like,
Yeah.
I've had enough and I use their full names.
Yeah. Yeah. They're
Oh
like,
Lord.
God.
My 9-year old actually said to me, uh-oh, you just used my full name. What's wrong?
What's wrong?
Yeah. Oh Lord. Catherine
Yeah.
also says, too often we allow experiences and circumstances to limit our truth.
Ooh, I like that. Can I just piggyback on that really quick? Thank you for sharing that,
Yes.
Catherine. That is so true because that happened to me. My own
Mm,
experience and my circumstances, they did limit my truth because for the longest, I was ashamed of my life experiences. I tell
mm,
people I've been through so many life experiences that I understand pain, whether it's a good thing or a bad thing. God has
mm,
given me that discernment. When somebody is in pain, I feel it. But the statement that you just made is so true and it's so real. I wish everyone, especially women, can really pay attention to what she just said. A lot of us are ashamed of what we've been through. And I want you to understand this. Whatever happened to you didn't ask for it to happen to you. That's number one. And if you're listening out there, the very thing that you're ashamed of is the very thing that will set you free. That happened for me. For the longest, I felt my name should have been Isabel. I'm ashamed, Draughon. I was ashamed of my life. I was ashamed of my life experiences. I was ashamed of the things that I've been through because I felt I was responsible. I should have known better. I should have been a better human being. But here is the thing, the journey of life has the duality of light and dark. Your life will have good parts and it'll have not so good parts. The problem is we've been conditioned to focus on the parts that we think that are not so good. But today I want to empower you. Whatever you think is not good about yourself, take that, own it, and run with it. Allow it to give you the power to help you become who you were created to be. That's exactly what I did. That's why I tell my story, because my story that I was ashamed of, I took ownership of it because I didn't do the things that happened to me. I'm not the one that inflicted that pain on myself, but I acknowledge it, I accept it, and some of the decisions that I made, right, constituted to me having the experiences that I had in life. But that's okay. That is okay. It is a journey for us to learn. But if you want to heal, if you want to get to the other side of whatever you're experiencing in your life, and become aware of where you're at, good, bad, or indifferent. Own it. Do not be
Mm,
ashamed of your life experiences. It will take you to the other side. It will
mm,
set you free.
And it also sets you apart because it
Yes,
gives you a unique story.
yes. And we all have a story.
Mm-hmm.
All have a story, each and every.
Mm,
We're here for a purpose. There is not one human being on
mm,
this earth that is not here for a purpose. The
mm,
problem is we spend so much time editing who we are. It's because we don't know who God created us to be. So your
mm,
job in life is to find out who you were created to be.
mm, mhm,
You were created to be. There is not one human being on this earth that was brought here for no reason. The world needs you. There's a purpose for you. So don't let what happened to you hinder you from becoming who God created you to be. Use that. Let
mm,
you to get to the other side.
mm, mm.
Thank you for that, Catherine.
Beautiful.
Mhm.
You know, you made me think of a quote. It's by mhm, Pablo Picasso,
Mhm.
and it says, "The meaning of life is to find your gift. The purpose of life is to give it away."
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. And that's so, yes, that's it. Yeah. It's to find your gift and to give it away. And I'm going to add on to that.
Mm,
When you discover your gift, it will take you places, it'll open doors,
mhm,
it will do things for you that your
mm,
career would have never done for you, honestly. And that's why it's important for you to tap into yourself and really discover
mm,
what you're created to be. Your gift will take you places that you never thought you would ever get to because
mhm,
it's something that God created within you. It's
mm,
unique with you. No one else can do it but you. But most of us we don't tap into a gift because we've been conditioned to believe that everything that we need is outside of ourselves when everything
mhm.
is within. Yeah.
Yes. And we don't see the beauty of our story. We don't see the beauty of our gift, really.
Yeah.
We tend to downplay that, don't we?
And especially women, we do a lot of that. Women, we're good at apologizing for no reason. It drives me crazy. I literally walk into grocery store and tell women, stop. We're going through the same aisle. The cart hits, I'm sorry. We apologize about everything. We downplay everything. But also, we have to think that even though we're talking about this a lot and it's the new thing, what happened when you were growing up, it's the truth. It is honestly the truth. The way we show up in every area of our life has a lot to do with who we are growing up. And that's why it's important to self reflect. That's why it's important to
Mhm,
constantly look at yourself and say, what about me do I need to change?
mm, mm,
We downplay ourselves so much because we have been taught that we're just here to perform. We're here to serve. And in
Mm,
everything we do, whatever we do for everyone else, we do not downplay. But when it comes to us, we downplay. We even have more compassion for everyone else around us. We don't have any compassion for ourselves. And it's one of the reasons it's difficult for women to go through a healing journey because there's no
mm,
self passion. We judge ourselves so hard.
mm-hmm,
Yeah.
mm. I want to say hello to Vinay
Hi.
Chandra. Thank you for tuning in. Good to have you here with us. We also have Catherine saying, we are made for more than ordinary. We are
Mhm.
called to live peculiar, blessed,
It's an oh, extra.
extraordinary lives.
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
Beautiful.
That's beautiful.
Aliana is still gallivanting. She says, nope, I am in, what's MS stand for? What does MS stand for in the States?
Oh, she Mississippi.
Um,
It's MS
MS.
Mississippi, I think so. Missouri, Mississippi. Today, but I'll be in Arkansas
Um,
tomorrow.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, she'll be in Arkansas tomorrow. Oh my
Mm-hmm.
gosh, you're just gallivanting, living your blessed life, my friend.
Love it.
James is smiling at us, and
Thank
Catherine
you.
says, what happened is simply feel for what now, Lord? Yeah. And she
Yeah.
says, you are here on purpose and for a purpose. When you uncover your heart seed that was planted in you by your Creator at the beginning, then you are empowered to change the world.
Yep. Yep. Like that she said hard
Yes.
seed. I say hard set.
Mm-hmm.
I love that.
Mm.
Yeah, because and just like
Those,
go ahead.
no, it's fine. Continue.
No, you're totally fine. No, what Catherine was talking about, the heart seat, right? And she talked about the Lord. It's true. Our subconscious mind, right? I tell people all the time that, the mind is a powerful thing. The mind is truly a powerful thing. And we talk about mindset a lot. The world talks about mindset a lot. That is real. You want to change your life, change your mind. I tell people talk about mindset. I talk about heart set because I'm a firm believer, just like what Catherine is talking about the heart seed. I say the heart set. I'm a firm believer that most of our decisions are made in the heart. And that while the mind is a powerful thing, the mind can never comprehend what the heart knows. If you notice, for those of you who even read the Bible or you serve God, whoever you serve, everybody's different. I love and respect that. It says your subconscious mind, and it talks about the heart, and that's why it's important to really find stillness and listen to your heart, listen to the whispers of your heart. What we want is for our mind, right, to listen, to do as our heart says, not the vice versa, because the heart is
Mhm.
the truth of who you are. Most
Mm.
important decisions are made in the heart if you pay attention. You
Yeah.
sit down and it's really the heart. When you're experiencing something, you feel it first. So you feel it in your heart. So it's really important. People say mindset. I say, please pay attention to your heart set.
Mm. Beautiful.
Mhm.
Beautiful. And Catherine is saying, I have been known not to apologize, even for a good reason.
You said even for a good reason. Yeah. Yeah. Because we
Yes.
we apologize for we're constantly apologizing, but we fail to neglect. What we fail to realize is when you keep apologizing, if we're not even when you're not wrong, you keep shrinking yourself. You keep making yourself
Yes.
small, and
Smaller.
every smaller and smaller. So you start living a life of apology. Everywhere you go, you
Mm.
apologize. If you have to walk in a room, you're apologizing before you even walk. And what I mean by that, you start feeling small before you even walk in the room. Because we have this thing where
Mm,
constantly have to apologize who you are. Here is the deal. If you find yourself constantly apologizing, you're in the wrong environment.
mm,
You have to be around people who are going to love you even when you're unfolding.
mm,
Because if you're constantly apologizing for who you are, you will never believe in yourself. You will never know yourself. You will never start to trust yourself because you're apologizing for your being,
mm,
for your being. So let's really pay attention to that. We have
mm,
reasons to apologize, but let's be mindful to stop apologizing just for merely existing.
mm, mm. I'm on that journey now.
You are on that journey.
Yes, I am.
Okay, I know we're doing the interview, but I would love for you to talk a little bit about, you know me, I love
Um,
clarity and transparency. Just give us a snapshot. Okay, you're on the journey. How did you get on that journey? You don't have to give the details of what's happening.
um,
What propelled
mhm,
you, what shifted in you to get on that journey for you saying, I will no longer play small and keep apologizing for my existence?
mm, hmm. I've just, I've always been a people pleaser.
Yeah.
Um, I'm the eldest. I have, I was the only girl.
Mm-hmm.
So, I was raised to um, be that, you know, support
Yeah.
um, to everyone. And I've always had a maternal instinct, so I was always taking care of everyone around me. I still
Yeah.
do, don't get me wrong,
Yeah.
but um, I now see the value in who I am. I now see the
Yeah.
value in what I do because not everybody is the way that I am. Not
Mm.
everybody has my story.
Yeah.
Not everybody can bring the value that I bring.
I love that.
Um, yeah, I it's I'm just on that journey. I started probably last year sometime or the year before that.
Mm.
So it's a very recent thing.
Good for you.
Um, but I know that I need to own who I am and who God has called me to be
Hmm.
so that I can live to my fullest potential. Because
Yeah.
otherwise, I'm just shrinking myself so that
Hmm.
I can make room for others when they don't even make room for me.
That part, I love it. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. I honestly love it. And you talked about people pleaser. I see you. I'm a recovering
Mm,
people pleaser. And a real recovering people pleaser. So you definitely, I definitely understand what you're saying, and I know you probably understand what I'm saying. So I am really happy for you to get on that journey, because as a recovering people pleaser, that's one of the hardest things to do, because what that
mm,
requires is for you to really look in the mirror and start saying that you're going to start taking care of yourself, that you will stop abandoning yourself, that you will stop betraying yourself. See, a lot of us spend a lifetime pointing fingers and saying, this person did this, and this person betrayed me. But if we can really be honest, right? We are the number one we're the number one people who do self betrayal, especially women. We're good at that. We're good at betraying ourselves. And what I mean by that is saying no. You're saying yes to everything. You have to learn to say no. So, as a recovering people pleaser, I am so happy for you to get on that journey. But I also do understand it's not an easy journey, because the people around you start looking at you like, what is going on here? They're not used to seeing the person who you're becoming. When you start having forgiveness for yourself, or even self compassion, you start creating boundaries. And most of us don't like to do that, especially if you're a people pleaser, because the
Yeah.
people that love you the most are not
Mm,
going to like who you're becoming in the beginning. But this is
mm,
what it does for anybody that's listening. It's going to be hard, okay, for you to really start loving yourself, to stop being a people pleaser, because people
mhm,
pleasing is from trauma.
mm,
For me, my people pleasing stemmed from abandonment and rejection. So I
mm,
spent my life doing for everyone else so I can keep the peace, so no one ever
mm.
leaves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't work. I did it because I wanted to create
Doesn't serve us.
peace. My biggest thing was I just want to have peace. I want everybody to be peaceful. But that was a lie.
Yeah.
It was a lie. It was
Mm,
just a facade for me. Let me tell you why it was a lie. Yeah, there was peace with the other people, but I was at war within
mm,
myself.
mm,
I
mm-hmm,
was I was at war within myself
mm-hmm,
because I'm saying yes and making everybody happy, but I'm miserable deep down inside.
mm, mm, mm,
So it's
mm,
vital. It is
mm.
crucial to know yourself, like you're saying, Inga, to understand your value.
Yes.
Understand your value.
Absolutely.
Understand your desires. Understand why you were brought onto this earth. It is a journey. It's not going to happen overnight, but it takes a different
Mm,
kind of courage to start saying no. It takes a different type of courage to stop being a people pleaser. But until you stop doing that, you will not
mm,
discover your true identity. She also
mm,
mentioned about how she likes to make sure that everyone is taken care of. This is specifically to all the women watching this show. That's an innate feeling that God gave us. So
mm-hmm.
we bring life into this world. So whether you
Yeah.
have brought life into this world or you've nurtured someone, a woman, because you don't necessarily have to bring life into this world to be classified or dignified, you being a woman. Honey, I know
Mm,
you've nurtured someone somewhere through your journey. That's what God has embedded in us as women.
yeah.
We're always going to be nurturers. So when I teach women to say, take care of yourself, love yourself, that doesn't mean you abandon the people you love. You can't even do it because it's an
Mm,
innate
mm.
thing that God has given us. You will always
Yes.
take care of people. But let me tell you something, there's a difference, a stark
Mm,
difference when you take care of people from a people pleasing standpoint, from a not feeling good enough standpoint, from a self doubt standpoint, than when you take care of people knowing who you are. Totally different.
mm. Absolutely. Absolutely. I want to share a quote with you again. You know, you and I, we love our
You're a
quotes.
quote girl. I love quotes, and I think you beat me on that.
Dr. Zeus. You
Uh
know, we
huh.
know him as Dr. Zeus, but it's
Yeah.
supposed to be said Zeus. He said this: be who you are and
Yeah.
say what you feel,
Yeah.
because those who mind don't matter, and those
Mm,
who matter don't mind.
mind. Yeah. Be who
Right?
you are.
Right?
Use your voice even when it shakes. Use it. Use it. What is life without knowing who you are?
I love that, even when it shakes, because yes, it speaks about
Because most of the
courage.
time it's going to shake. Most of the
Hmm.
times you're afraid to speak your truth. That's why it's called your truth. But give it a
Mm,
try. Give it a try.
yeah.
And those that leave,
Beautiful.
they were never meant to be with you anyway.
Mm, mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Whew. Okay, Ileana says, Isabel talks about the power of saying no. I just don't have time.
Hmm. Hmm.
Mm.
Yeah.
And then she
Because most
says,
of us,
Inga,
we
I
spend,
value you.
oh, my sister. And here's the thing, right? We spend so much time. Like, if all you
Mm,
do is say yes to everything and everyone, let
mm,
me explain something to you. Your no's mean nothing.
mm, mhm,
Yeah.
mm, mhm,
Hmm.
mm,
Everyone else wants you to say yes. Your mind,
mhm,
your body, and your spirit, they need you to say no because that's the way you
mhm,
show yourself how you love yourself.
mm,
Mhm.
mm, mm, mm. You know, Isabel,
Mhm.
it's 3:16. We have 14 minutes. But I want to acknowledge Aliana said, Hello, my name is Aliana Sutton, and
Mhm.
I am a recovering people pleaser. I'm right
Yes,
there with you.
with
I'm
you.
right there with
Recovering.
you.
Recovering is the key word. Recovering.
Hmm. We
Mhm.
need to work on that for sure.
Mhm.
So, Isabel,
Yes.
let's get to the power of prayer.
Okay.
How did prayer help you overcome adversity? I know we touched slightly on this last week, but how did that how did that happen for you? What did you do?
Um, you know, if I can be very honest, for the longest, I didn't even know how to pray, right? And obviously, it's because you know how I grew up. I grew up Catholic, and da da da. We're not praying. I was in boarding school, and all that kind of stuff. And then I remember I met my husband. I started going to his church, and I would watch these people pray. I would watch women pray. I was just talking to my mother-in-law about this last night, how intimidated I was because coming from a Catholic background and you going into Pentecostal. I just met my husband. We went to their church. I mean, these people are reciting the Bible, right? And I'm
Mm,
watching them like, wow, this is amazing. So for the longest, I was really intimidated. I'm like, I
mm,
don't know how to do this. I don't know how to connect with God. I don't know how these people are doing this. So I have to really learn and recite this Bible like they are. It is as I was going through my journey, is when I started being still. When I started being still,
mhm,
no joke. People call them downloads. People call them whatever they do because I would sit and say, I need to learn how to pray. And then I'll try to mimic other people how they were praying. But I'm telling you, I would sit still and I would just hear I would just hear these voices, the loud whisper, right?
mm,
And as I'm sitting still, I would start repeating what those voices they were saying. What I came to realize was
mm,
I didn't know how to pray, but I knew what I needed from God.
mhm,
And my prayer started by saying, use me. Every morning,
mm,
I would get up and say, God, use me.
mhm,
We went from use me to why. Then God shifted the why to say, don't ever ask why. Ask me how.
mm, mm,
Ask me how.
mm,
So even when I had those moments as I was gazing up in the ceiling and I would get up at night, I would be on my knees asking for God to really open, to show me what I'm here for. And from a person who comes from a space of abandonment. I had abandoned my own self.
Mm.
So I would pray and ask God to heal me, put my heart back together. I didn't understand. I always used to think God was not listening to my prayers because compared to other people, my prayers were nothing. I was one sentence, one word, and you go to different churches and places, and people are praying like for 10 minutes. But it's as I started learning and going through it and
Mm.
asking God to really help me to move, this is what I've learned, my sister. God wants a conversation. As I'm talking to you, that's how I talk to God. That's how my prayers have helped me go through my trials, is through having a
Mhm.
conversation, right? So every area of my life,
Mhm.
when I
Mhm.
myself binds or in challenges, I get on my knees. And if I'm not on my knees, I'm driving, I'm praying. I pray all the time, all day. Literally, I
Mhm.
could be sitting at my desk and I'll be like, thank you, Lord. To me, that's a prayer.
Yes.
Every morning, that's all I say when I wake up. Use me. Use me, Lord. So for me, prayer is extremely powerful. Prayer has been able to move me from one level to another, but it only started to work for me when I started praying the way I know how to. I know a lot of us, we look at other people and we say, I don't know how to pray, or how should I pray? Just have a conversation. Have a conversation with God. Just like the way I'm talking to my friend Inga, have that
Mm.
conversation with God. That's what has brought me through different stages. But now, the where I'm at,
Mm.
I'm at a place where God is isolating me.
Mm.
My phone doesn't even ring anymore, and I'm okay with it.
Mhm.
And it's through
Mm.
those moments when I'm sitting in my stillness. And that's, if those of you that follow me, if you notice, I tell people to be still a lot, especially on the weekends. There's something powerful about that. There's
Mhm.
there's there's nothing as I don't think there's a prayer as powerful as stillness in God's presence.
Mm. 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 Mm.
Those are the
That's
prayers that
beautiful.
get me through hurdles. See, some of us, we pray so
Mm.
much. When we sit down, we're like, oh, I have to say all these things. I have to say all these things. But sometimes prayer is you being
Mm.
still and say, I'm here to listen to what
Mm.
you want to teach me today, God.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm.
But
Mhm.
some talk so much that God is trying to speak to you. We don't even hear it.
Mm. Fun, yeah. Mm. Yeah.
No.
Mm.
Yeah. Prayer is, for me, it's everything, right? It
Mm.
accomplishes everything. Is a connection to God. But what I've learned is you don't have to use words to pray.
No.
No, no. It's your
No.
presence. It's your stillness. It's your willing to wake up when you don't feel like
Mhm.
waking up. Feel that nudge at 2 a.m. in the morning and you don't even know what to say. That's what I do. I just sit. And then I feel God downloads, right? Just give it a
Mm.
try. Who you serve, right? Whoever you subscribe to, for me, it's God. He just gives me the downloads. So prayer comes in so many different forms for me. It truly does. But the most powerful prayer for me is use me, or me just being in stillness. Being in stillness has helped me move through so many things, so many hurdles, be able to push through mountains because of being still. It's so powerful
Mm.
for me. The presence of God is extremely
Mm.
powerful for me.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mm. You know, um, when I was a child, my mom used to say a lot of really wise things. And I
Yeah.
remember um, something that she often said was, you know, You have 2 ears and one mouth.
Mhm.
So you need to listen twice as much as you speak.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And that brings me back to what you said, pray is a conversation between you and God.
Hmm.
But because we have 2 ears and one mouth, we need to listen to God twice
Yeah.
as much as we speak.
Twice as much as we speak. So a
So
lot. Yeah.
screen, yeah. So screen time, the for those that are on radio that can't see on the live stream, Isabel has a bookshelf behind her, and
Oh, that's right.
behind
You see
her
my be
too,
still on that side.
yes, on the other side there is Psalm 46 verse 10, which says, "Be still and know that
I
I
know.
am God."
Yeah. Because you know what, sis? Let me tell you what I've discovered. When you wake up in the morning, if you're quiet enough, you will realize that every day when the sun rises, we're guided every day. But we're
Mm,
so focused on the next thing. We're so focused on
mm,
going out here and creating this success. We're so focused on it, go, 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 that everything that we need is right in front of us, but we cannot see it. But we're guided every day. The higher power, like I say, whoever you subscribe to, guides you every single day.
mm,
Every day the sun rises, we're guided. Every day the sun rises, God gives us a beautiful gift, the willpower, right? Every human being gets that. It doesn't matter
mm,
what hierarchy, what nationality, what color of your skin, where you're at, if you're in the penthouse, if you're homeless, every morning when the sun rises, each and every one of us is granted a gift, a powerful
mm,
gift. And that's the will. It's the power, the willpower to choose, the power to make a choice how you want to show up in the
mm,
world today. Make a choice how you want to react to what's happening in your life, how you want to treat people in your life, how you want to be treated. You have, this is what I try to teach people every day. You have the power. See, the power has been taken away from us.
mm,
You have to in and get that power back. Believe me when I tell you, every morning when you see the sun rise, if you see the sun tomorrow morning, I want you to remember this. I've been given the willpower to choose.
mm, 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 mm.
It's a God
Wow.
given gift and right. It's a God given right for every human being on this earth. You have the power to create the life that you desire, despite the circumstances. Life will be hard. Yes, there's a duality of light and dark. I already talked about that. Let me tell you something. There's light at the end of the tunnel,
Mm,
but most importantly, listen to me closely. There's light as you go through the tunnel. That's God's light guiding you forward. But we're moving so fast that we don't pay
mm,
attention to those glimpses of lights as we go through the tunnel.
mm, mm, mm. Beautiful. Amanda says, powerful conversation and interview. I just love it. And
Thank you.
Cecilia says that she's proud of me. you
Oh,
know, um,
proud of
I wanted
you.
to share with you. I
Yeah.
wanted to share something with you, Isabel. I also had that journey, especially with prayer. So prayer is part of my entire journey that I've been going through. And
Mhm.
I was also in that space where I would listen to people and be so intimidated by the
Yeah.
way that they prayed
Mhm.
and the way that they spoke, and
I,
how did they have the power to recall scriptures the way that they do, right?
right.
And but they do it like they do, we do it like we do. There's no guideline that says
No.
it's right or it's wrong. It's a
No.
conversation with our
Yeah.
Father.
Yes. Yes, it is. Oh, it is a conversation with our Father. And what I noticed about those people, they have memorized the Bible, but I think they forget to comprehend what's in the Bible. Because if most of the people did comprehend what in the Bible, we will all understand that God has given us the power and the dominion over earth. We
Mhm.
would all understand that everything we need is inside of us. It's in the Bible. We will all
Yes.
understand God has given us the power. We will all understand that when you see you, you better see God in you.
Hmm. We are created in His image.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
Mm,
So don't let flesh
mm,
make you feel small. You are powerful
mm.
beyond measure.
Yes. Mm,
Powerful beyond measure.
mm,
You just have to
mm,
cut out the noise. Be still,
mm,
be
mhm,
still, and tap
mm.
into who God created you to be. Listen,
Beautiful.
those loud whispers. For me,
Mm,
that's God speaks the loudest. Be
mm,
still. You discover
mm,
who you are, but you have to be still.
mm, mm. Beautiful. Wow. Isabel, we've already reached the top of the hour, but I
Mhm.
just want to weave in some comments. Catherine says, prayer is not complicated. It is
Mhm.
simply a conversation with your father. Beautiful.
Yeah.
And she also says, Reverend Billy Graham wouldn't quote the chapter and verse. He'd just say, it says in, and challenge the listener to go look for themselves.
Mm.
Oh,
Mm.
interesting.
Mm.
Mm,
Interesting. Mm. It's powerful. I can
mhm,
feel the spirit, right? You feel it?
mhm, mhm, mhm. Mm. I was actually, I was just thinking about possibly a series that we can do, but we'll talk about that,
Hey,
you know,
listen, I'm here to
at
work
some
for
point.
God's kingdom. Anything that helps, I'm here.
Mm,
This is what it's about,
amen.
right? This is
Amen.
what it's
Amen.
about. I am more focused on creating an impact right now. So that's going to require
Mhm,
me, if I have to do series, I want to be on every stage. I want to talk to people to realize to use
yeah.
their voices, right? The power of their voices. But most importantly, to people to realize that you're not a human doer, you're a human being. Let's get back to being human
Mm,
beings again. This world has made us become human doers and it's killing us. It's killing us to the point that people can't even take life and they're taking their life.
mm,
Because
yeah.
nowadays, people don't even care about who you are. People want to know what you do.
Do.
And yeah,
Right?
yeah,
I used to think that was so weird. When I first moved to Canada, I would meet some South Africans here, and the
yeah,
first thing they would say is, "So, what do you do?"
yeah, yeah,
And I remember my husband and I would make jokes about it afterwards and say,
yeah.
next time I'm gonna tell them that I sell drugs.
But the thing about it is, and this is everywhere, and this is what I talk about on my podcast too. It's health and wellness. It's really about, as I was talking about the consciousness, for us human beings to really get to a higher state of consciousness. A lot of us are living our lives on such low vibrational levels, you know.
Mm,
And also
mm,
what's happening is that we're in this society where our validation, our humanity is validated by what we own, how we perform, and everything. So you're meeting people, and people don't even care to know who the person is next to them. They're more focused on what this person is doing. And quite frankly, in the beginning, I guess as society was moving, it was a great thing. But we're human beings and we cannot be validated by how we perform. That's impossible because that's something on the outside of us. That's something that could be
mhm,
taken away from us. And that's why when you mention about your gift, it's important for us to understand who God created us to be so we can tap into our gift, because that's something no one
Yes.
can ever take away from you. But we do as human beings. That's my prayer. Even when I go talk to organizations about conscious leadership, is really understanding that the people are not machines. We are beings. We have feelings. And you
Mm,
find that the new generation, especially the younger ones, I personally feel, and this is just my take on it, it's my opinion, the reason why some of them are taking their lives at such an early age, it's too much, because you can never just show up as anger. You can never show up anywhere you go just as you. So you're being asked, the first thing is, what do you do? Because when you tell people what you do, then they get to put you on their level, on their scale as to where you are on the humanity definition scale. Am I going to put you up here with my up here friends, or are you going to be down here? Or how am I going to treat you? Well, that's great. As humans, our spirit cannot take that. We need connection. We
mm.
need to know the color that you love. We need
Yeah.
to know how many children you have. We need to know what makes you happy. We just need to laugh. It's not constantly about success, what we're producing, because that's not the totality of our
Mm,
being. No, that's not what our
mm,
being is.
mm,
Everything that we do outside of ourselves, it's addition to who we are. So, and it's crucial for people to really,
mm,
the most important knowledge you will ever obtain as a human being is knowledge of self. When you know yourself, you
mhm,
understand yourself, you know your purpose, why you are
mhm,
here. What's going to
mm,
happen is you build a foundation. And no matter how the wind blows, people can take everything away from you. You will still
mhm,
stay in your being because you know who you are. Whatever you
mm,
lose, understand you can always acquire it again. That does not
mm,
validate you.
mm, 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 mm. Wow. Powerful conversation, Isabel. I wonder if we can add to this, but let's think on that.
Okay.
Where can people find you if they'd like to connect and have a conversation with you?
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You can find me on LinkedIn, Instagram. I'm on Facebook. I'm also on TikTok. Here and there, my son is like, get on TikTok, mom. You know, I'm getting older, but I am. I'm also on TikTok and, of course, on my website, www.isabeldrawn.com. And I also do have a podcast. It's the Loud Whisper podcast. It's called The Healing Space. It's a health and wellness podcast. And what I do there, I talk all things humanity, all things human being. And yeah, so let's come and listen. Join me. I would love for you to follow me. I will follow you right back. But I believe that we can collectively reach a higher consciousness and make this world a better place individually, one person at a time.
Beautifully said, Isabel. Thank you so much for
You're
coming
welcome.
and spending this time with us.
You're
It
welcome.
I told you before and I'll say it again. I just love to hear you speak because you bring so many nuggets and
Thank,
they touch so many lives, those nuggets. So
thank you.
I'm grateful to count me as someone that you've touched as well. So thank you.
Oh,
Thank you for
thank
coming
you.
and spending time with us.
Thank you so much. Thank you for creating the space. I'm extremely proud of you. Thank you for you are my tribe. That's what we're doing. Exactly. You doing creating this platform is what we're doing, right? Trying to make this world a better place. So I appreciate you, and I know your listeners appreciate you too for having the courage, for creating this space, and for you showing up and no longer playing small. See how powerful you've become. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you, Isabel. Oh my word. Be blessed. I'll send you to the green room and I'll wrap up here.
Thank you.
If you're still listening, oh my goodness. That was amazing. Isabel, you are amazing. Thank you. So do what she said. Two things: get to know yourself and listen to that loud whisper. Come and join me as I continue this show on Africa Up Online Radio. If you're watching live and you have time to still come and continue being with me, I'm on africaup.co.za, where I'll be just wrapping up this conversation that I had with Isabel and playing you some music. So come on over. Until next week, I want to say be blessed and know this. We're going to have an amazing session next week because it is the beginning of Women's Month in South Africa. We're going to have some discussions talking about other people's journeys and how it reflects our own. So come on over next week. We're going to have this amazing conversation as well because Women's Month is all about us, celebrating us. But on Wonder Woman Wednesday, we get to do that every day, which is my favorite, favorite, favorite. Be blessed. Come on over to Africa if you can to listen as I wrap up this conversation. Until next time, take care and I'll see you there.